consider that synced.
Consider synced.
All right. Let's check the levels. Can you talk a bit?
Yep. Okay.
All right. Looks okay. All right.
Seems okay.
Yeah. So had some refreshing sake. That was nice and crisp.
Crisp
Sake. So I wanted to show you what I teased this earlier, but I was at the track, motorcycle track.
Right.
When was it? Yesterday.
Yeah.
Happy to share that I beat my previous lap time by 4 seconds, and if I can consistently maintain that speed, I can go to the next class, basically.
Right.
So I recorded some dash cam footage that...
Is this like just outside Tokyo? Or?
Yes, this is in Ibaraki. This is
cool.
Tsukuba, right? Yeah, they have a pretty compact circuit there. It's like they advertise it as like it's home of the time attack, as they call it.
Okay.
Which basically just means there's not a lot of like straightaways.
Yeah.
Like the straightaways are pretty short, so it kind of doesn't matter what bike you're on, because like it's going to come down to how much speed you carry through the corners, right?
Right.
But yeah, I mean, this has been a pretty recent hobby for me. I'm just gonna play this. Let me just confirm that it's gonna record here. Okay. Trying to think like, what's the best way to do this? I can clip it out. Okay, maybe just low.
You're trying to like project this up, or?
Well, so no, we'll be looking at it here, and then I think I can put the video in post.
Oh, right.
But the sound is recording, and we'll hear the sound, and the sound will help me line up the video afterwards.
Yeah, cool.
But yeah, so playing 3, 2, 1.
Oh,
do we have some audio here? Let me just double check. Should be going though.
Seems fine.
Okay, there we go. Just increasing the sound a bit. Just kind of keep it at that level, I think. Yeah, so this was my second session, Thursday morning, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see he started messing up here. So I was chasing this guy around. He was on the ZRX. What's it, like 1200 basically, but anyway, 50% more horsepower than my 400cc ZX4. Right. But yeah, man, I had already done a few like of my fastest laps this day, which, you know, big picture isn't that fast because I'm still just in the slowest category so far, but yeah, like, you know, just was focusing on technique, was focusing on braking earlier and carrying more speed into the corner. So instead of trying to like freak myself out by braking last minute, basically, try and like maybe don't go full speed into the corner, but like brake earlier, but roll in a bit faster.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and that happened.
Is that where that happened?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and it didn't, unfortunately, fortunately, I guess, it didn't have anything to do with my speed, I think.
Was there like some slick on the track or something? Or what was...
So I was talking about it with one of the staff members afterwards, and we, you know, before this session, I was talking about air pressure with him, because basically you deflate your tires ahead of time to basically to get more grip. You have to deflate your tires a bit. And I couldn't really my Japanese isn't quite good enough to explain the nuance, and so he was kind of like, you know, you have to deflate the tires, and I was like, yes, don't worry, I did. But
so you thought you'd already done it and you kind of hadn't?
No, I did. Yeah. So like you'll see it later in the video.
Yeah.
But you know, he comes in, and you know, he was essentially, his first thing was like, well, like your air tire pressure was wrong, right? He checks it. It was fine. It was all right. It wasn't the issue. And then it was like, okay, you know, this cocksucker, you'll see him later. He essentially, he basically called it a skill issue to my face, right?
Yeah.
So he's like a technique, right? Like maybe your technique was wrong. I showed him this exact video. I pulled it up since, you know, it was handy.
So what were you like experiencing during this? Were you like literally thrown from that seat, or like were
Not
you,
thrown. I mean, so the bike slid out from under me, right? So I was leaning.
But you didn't like land hard on your side or anything? Or?
Yeah, not too bad. Honestly, like all things considered, yeah, I mean, honestly, it felt like I like fell off the bed or something, right?
Okay, yeah. I mean, I've like literally fractured my arm just from like falling off a like standard bike. You know, like a.
Did you hit like a curb? Was there any like pressure point?
I mean, it was just I think it was just landing wrong,
bad,
but bad landing. But even just like a normal, you know, like push bike, basically. Yeah. When I was living in Hiroshima on an island, I sort of.
Which arm was it?
It was my left arm, unfortunately. So it's not my main one.
Yeah.
So. But it was still about 2 months of just, you know, being in a cast and not being able to do much other than, you know, lug it around with me, which was annoying, especially when I was trying to go clubbing and do stuff there too, which I did, but yeah.
Yeah, I've never broken a bone, fortunately, knock on wood. Yeah.
Really lucky, man. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a bit of luck involved, and like there's some situations where you just hit something the wrong way and it like fractures or kind of breaks or whatever. But yeah, if you've never broken anything, it's pretty lucky.
Not to my knowledge, right? Yeah. I know some careful of like some combination of like overly careful upbringing and like kind of paranoid withdrawal, kind of not withdrawal, but like, you know.
There's a lot of strange situations in which you wouldn't think you would. Like people break things all kind of weird ways that you wouldn't like really expect or think. But
yeah, the one that I thought about recently was my coworker. Well, coworker at the time, she fell like on the train or something, and she like broke her pelvis. Just
from like slipping on the train or falling. Maybe.
I don't know what exactly happened basically, but yeah, like, and the pelvis, so I don't know where, like, I got the impression basically it was like, you know, like center groin area. I don't know if it was there necessarily, but either way, it's one of those things where like you can't put a cast, right? Like it's just,
you just have to hold it in place kind of and let it.
You try to not fall, basically. I mean, I don't know if you can even set it or anything, right? It's probably just like fractured,
you just wait. Sit there and wait.
Right?
I wonder if they could like put some pin or like brace or something around it. Probably not.
Yeah, I mean, in your pelvis, probably not too fun either way, right? It's a pretty like high friction area. Yeah. So I pulled off the camera here.
Ooh.
But yeah, you'll see the damage. But yeah, man, got dinged up kind of unfortunately.
Sucks. Yeah.
It's okay. I mean, just need to get it into the shop and get it repaired. Basically, it's just kind of part of the. Yeah, so I was asking like him to like hold the camera.
Okay, yeah.
Because I was trying to like kind of, I had no idea, right? I didn't really know even how I landed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's like,
just like scuffed your side there.
Basically,
yeah.
I mean,
you got pads on, so it doesn't seem like.
Yeah, man. I mean, honestly, like one of my takeaways was, hold on, look at this cocksucker. Look at his face. Hold on. Look at him. Look at him.
This guy. It looks a bit. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
You see that little smirk there?
Yeah, it looks a bit sketchy, right?
A little bit. Yeah. I think he's just jaded from like, because, you know, this was the third crash that day, right? And it wasn't even 10 a.m.
Probably happens a lot, right?
Yeah. So it's just like, I'm sure every year they see guys coming in thinking they're the next, you know, like Valentino Rossi.
Yeah.
And, you know, just huge turnover, I'm sure, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, overall, he was, you know, like, I think despite his kind of slightly dickish tendencies, he was helping me out and giving me advice on peg height and stuff earlier.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny how cavalier like people who go to the track regularly are. Like I was talking about, I go to this guy to get my bike washed, and he's also like a track enthusiast. And I asked him like, how many times do you crash, or have you crashed? He was like, I don't keep
like
track.
countless, basically.
Like it just, it's just kind of part of the territory, right? Like,
but he hadn't like really damaged himself or anything.
Seemed okay. Seemed okay. I mean, he's like probably around your age and seemed fine, right? Like,
so ancient, in other words.
Well, not ancient, but like on
elder territory.
Not elder, but like in the position where you don't just bounce back instantly from injuries, right? Injuries, like, I mean, even at my age, like I'm not going to bounce back perfectly, right? It's kind of, I'm at the point where things start getting permanent, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think when I fractured my left arm, I think I was about 20, I want to say 26 or 27. And
did it heal okay?
Yeah. I mean, it's fine, but I definitely feel like I still haven't regained the same sort of strength I had before. Could be just subjective, but yeah.
Where did you break it?
It was sort of like under here.
Kind of elbow.
Yeah, kind of near. I mean, not real elbow, but quite close. And like, just like simple fracture.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Oh, so did you need a cast?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was about two straight months of just cast every day.
Sounds so annoying. Like,
yeah.
I still can't shower.
I didn't really like try to not do anything I wouldn't normally do. Like, I came to Tokyo. I went clubbing with a cast. I met a girl I was seeing at the time with the cast, and things got intimate and wasn't really too much of a hindrance.
But like, you couldn't like shower?
No, well, you can, because you can like put like you can put a plastic bag around it, or
every time.
Yeah.
Just grab a random plastic bag.
or some plastic case or bag or something, and just kind of cover it.
Sounds annoying.
Yeah, I mean, it still gets kind of grimy anyway.
Yeah,
and kind of itchy, and
it starts like weird. Smelling bad.
I don't remember. I don't really, because like they change it. Like you can after about 3 weeks, you go in and they kind of like can change the cast, and it's still kind of setting. But it's definitely annoying.
How long did you have it on?
Yeah, probably about 2-3 months, I want to say, just while it was healing. Definitely really annoying. I mean, I'm just lucky it wasn't my right hand.
Yeah.
Because then, I'd been even more inconvenienced. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, part of me is like, okay, well, it's a great opportunity to become ambidextrous, right?
Yeah. If you just use the other one, but
start stimulating your right hemisphere of your brain and unlock creativity,
superpowers and
or something.
Creativity. Yeah, it'd be funny if that worked and you could just like write with your other hand, write with your left hand, and get some super insight or something and start.
You don't think it works, basically? You think it's like not quite
unlocking left hemisphere superpowers through writing with your offhand? Probably not. I mean, maybe.
Well, I think it's specifically so like your left hand is controlled by your right hemisphere, and your right hand is your left hemisphere.
Yeah, right? I don't know if there's anything to that hemisphere theory.
There is actually, though. So there's the split brain experiment. Have you heard about this?
Yeah.
So like they used it to treat epilepsy, I believe, and basically what they did,
they sever the corpus callosum.
Yeah, exactly. So they literally like cut the brain down the middle. So basically sever the communication from the left and right hemisphere.
Yeah, it's called the corpus callosum, which is that like connecting little bridge or whatever.
Yeah. So you know this experiment then, right? And then you can like tell something to the right hemisphere. And the left hemisphere won't know it. Basically, you can ask. What's it like? It's like, I think you like close one eye, because again the eyes are also kind of like linked up weirdly, and you can show something, and then you can ask the other hand to write what it saw.
But the person won't realize like what whether it's suggested. But
then you switch hands, and then the other hand immediately knows what to write. Yeah. So bizarre to think about, right?
You're sort of like, you're giving him almost like a lobotomy in a way. So you're sort of like, yeah. I mean, but I think the brain can still sort of compensate in a lot of ways for that kind of stuff. But yeah, it'd be cool if there was some way to like hack that or something. But yeah.
Have you ever like tried to like use your like non-dominant hand for stuff?
All the time. I mean, I well, not like all the time, but I mean, I will like I definitely like use it.
Are there tasks that you do exclusively with your non-dominant hand? We're both right-handed, right?
Yeah, right-handed. Yeah. No, I wouldn't say there's any super tasks I've like tried to use with it.
So what do you use it for? What have you used it for?
Just like wiping my ass or like, masturbating or things like that.
It's important, right? Right hemisphere activities.
Eating, I guess, like using like utensils and stuff. I sort of like switch them around. Like, I don't feel like I have a clear.
Really?
Yeah, I might like fork with my left hand and knife with my right, or
yeah, I guess that's what you're supposed to do. I never.
You're supposed to do that?
Yeah, you're supposed to use your right hand, your dominant hand for the knife.
Okay.
That at least that's what my dad taught me. It never actually. Honestly, I prefer. Yeah. I think I use left hand for knife. That thing never made sense to me, to be honest.
I would probably have trouble using chopsticks with my left hand, I think.
Yeah.
It'd probably be kind of tricky, but I could definitely use like a knife or fork either way, I think. I don't think I would discriminate with which hand, but I use like my feet for things sometimes. Like sometimes I just like pick, like if there's like a paper on the floor, like I'll just like pick it up with my foot or something and like hand it to myself, or foot it to myself, it to my hand or something. I don't know if other people, that's one thing I was like, are other people doing this? Like I'm sort of like,
I've seen other people do it. Yeah. But it's,
you don't like really do that, or?
No,
I
never.
definitely like it. I'm trying, like, I can't do it with a wire, but like if there's like some
I believe you.
Object,
I believe you.
Like, I'll sort of like pick it up with my foot and hand it.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's weird or not, but
I mean, I've seen people do it, right?
Or like clothes on the floor. Like I've like sometimes just like pick them up with my foot or something.
I mean,
like,
I maybe kick stuff occasionally and just kind of tap it across somewhere.
You don't feel you can like use your toes.
Well, I mean, I could, but like it's just like, I don't know, like I'd so much rather just pick it up, right? Bend
down rather than just reaching it with your foot.
Yeah, I mean, like we're not like ape, what is it, chimpanzee or orangutans?
Yeah, we are.
Well, I mean, we are the same thing, I guess, but but like, their like toes are like long, right? Like
my toes are pretty long, man. I mean, sort of,
yeah,
I feel like I can kind of use them.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I know that there's like supposedly 2 knuckles in the toe, right?
I feel like I can. Well, there's
like, 2 knuckles, right? I'm not imagining that. Right?
I don't know if you can see this on the video, but
you can't.
You can. Okay, well, like there's sort of like almost like double. See, like
that seems
I can move them in weird ways.
You, my friend, are definitely an orangutan.
Yeah, so
orangutan rather.
I can, right? Like I can individually move like weird, like certain joints.
Yeah, that's
configurations, right? Yeah.
Well, I cannot. I have up and I have down.
Yeah, this is like almost overwhelming. Like I stress this is like almost overwhelmingly useless, but I can like sort of use it, I guess, to like pick things up or move them around or manipulate objects or something.
I'm glad you kept those neural pathways open.
Yeah. It's I don't know if that's a hemisphere thing too, or if that's like a...
That's a good question. I mean, it's probably wired up in a similar way where it's like left foot, right hemisphere, right foot, left hemisphere or something.
Are you like double jointed with your hands, or?
I'm trying to think. Like, no, not at all. I mean, I used to, at some point, I could put my thumb to my wrist.
Yeah. Well, can you like do that? Like move it like, out of joint, sort of like socket it?
Basically, no.
Okay, yeah.
Basically, no.
Yeah.
Like I maybe I've done it before, but no, I can't.
There's people that can do crazy things. Like there's contortionists that are like triple jointed. Like they have like 3 configurations, or they can like do all these like weird, almost like boneless kind of stunts and stuff. It's like weird. Yeah. That's a whole other area though. But yeah.
Yeah. Double jointed. I know. Yeah. I mean, what is that? Just voluntary dislocation, basically?
Sort of. Yeah. You can like sort of pop it out of its like normal orbit, I guess, into a different orbit.
And it's like not unhealthy or not painful or something. Yeah, I mean, useful for escaping shackles or something.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah.
Some escapist. Your ancestors had to escape from stuff. I guess
escape from something or hang from trees.
Your ancestors had to use their toes to pick up
like locks or keys or something.
The key of the sleeping guard outside the cell or something.
Yeah.
Not me, man. all left hemisphere.
It's all left hemisphere. Is that like
pure
the
rational
software programming hemisphere or something? Yeah,
exactly.
Software engineer hemisphere.
Yeah, I mean, it should be creative as well. It should be right hemisphere.
There's like other.
Yeah, I believe you, man. You can put your sock back on.
Do want my feet here.
This is precision audio recording.
Precision audio time. This is not demonstration time.
I mean that's a talent show material right there.
Yeah.
Did you ever do one of those in elementary school or something?
Nah, it's nothing. It was really.
But you had them, right? You had talent shows.
Yes, I mean, I hadn't really thought to like. I'm trying to remember if we actually did have one. Doesn't ring a bell.
I think there was like a lot of like lip syncing and synchronized dance,
stuff like that, synchronized dancing and stuff. Oh, I think there was like some music performance show. Yeah, something similar, but I don't think I was interested enough to try it.
Do you play an instrument?
I played bass in high school and guitar. Bass and guitar. Well, I sort of turned my guitar into a bass because.
Just broke one of the strings and
more or less, and I was
tuned it down.
Yeah, exactly right. So I just did that basically because my
drop D.
Yeah, I was in drop D, right? I was in I started a band with my friend and we both bought guitars, but he was like kind of a much better seemed naturally way better at it. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just like turn mine into a bass, I guess, because it's a little bit simpler. So that's what we did. Yeah, we're just going through that.
And sorry, what was he doing? He was singing.
I was singing. He was the guitarist, and I was like bassist singer, I guess.
Bassist singer. So wait, you took a page from what was the band that you're telling me about earlier?
Oh, New Order.
New Order.
Yeah, I took a page, or like the guy from Rush. Well, that's a Canadian band? You should know Rush.
Vaguely rings a bell. What's their top song?
Good question. What is
Rush? Yeah, for sure. It rings
it's like
a bell.
some It's very like 1970s long, 20-minute songs band. But I think their bassist is the singer too, and there's a few bands like that where the bass. I think even the Beatles, like Paul was the bassist and singer.
I guess
in the Beatles.
So, I guess it's mostly rhythmic what you're doing.
Yeah,
on the bass.
It's kind of easier than sitting there trying
to
play like 20 different notes and sing at the same time or whatever. Yeah.
Man, I can feel we had some so what was that, sake shochu? Sake?
Yeah. That was sake, yeah.
But like the eye dehydration effect, I got LASIK
really?
late last year,
you feel
right?
It's a little bit dehydrated.
Yeah. Like it kicks in pretty fast. It's pretty surprising.
Specifically with alcohol or
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of like why I shied away a lot from drinking this year because the side effect just became immediately clear, right?
Do you think that's gonna like fade over time?
It's supposed to, but
hopefully within a year or two it'll be a little bit more naturally lubricating or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean, it's still fairly recent, I guess, so I give us some time to get back to pitch, I guess.
Yeah, it's been interesting though. Like I just Like it's, I've gotten to the point where I like forget that I used to have to wear glasses.
Oh, that's convenient. Yeah.
But like in the mirror, I used to like feel like naked without glasses, right?
Yeah.
But like now I like identify myself as someone who doesn't.
Just feels normal. Yeah. I actually don't own. I'm actually using contacts every day at the moment. I don't even own any glasses anymore.
Well, other than like sunglasses, I guess, right?
Yeah. Well, I did used to have a pair, and I just broke them, and I was like, well, it doesn't seem to even matter anymore. I can just use contacts, but I feel like I want to get a pair just for chilling at home. But I feel like I haven't worn prescription actual glasses in like 5 years or something, 4 or 5 years maybe, since breaking my one pair. I'm just like wearing contacts all the time, which I don't think you're even supposed to do, really.
Yeah, I think there's some legal disclaimer of, don't wear them for more than X days in a row or whatever. Probably doesn't matter though.
I feel like with the newer one-day ones, it's very. I don't know. It's probably not great.
It's like,
but
your eyes need to breathe,
yeah.
right? So I don't even know what that necessarily means. Like, there's not like oxygen exchange happening on the surface of your eye.
I think the disposable one-day ones are very thin at the moment. Like certainly the soft contacts that I grew up with, like when I was a kid, like those ones you definitely feel it when you took it out. You're like, oh wow, my eye was kind of getting choked. But the one-day ones, I haven't really felt much.
Yeah, well, that was always my problem with contacts. Is I was buying the best, the top rated, the most moisturized ones, and it just never.
You're still feeling kind of dry or whatever.
It would, like, so the first contacts I bought were what were they? I think they're like 2-week ones or something.
Okay,
and that was terrible. I know somehow, I guess in my mid-teens, I mustered through it, but like they didn't feel great halfway through day one, and certainly did not feel great on day 13 or whatever. But even in recent years, when I was using like the AccuV Hydrolux or whatever, Oasis or whatever, which apparently are good, but like after a few hours, just unbearable.
Feeling kind of aware of it in your eye? Or,
I mean, just constant like blinking foreign body sensation, right? Like, when they first go in, it's good, kind of, but could just, I don't know what it is. Dry eyes, maybe. I think that's what my optometrist always said growing up, is your eyes are dry.
Gotta listen to more emo music and cry more. It's all about crying it out. Cry those tears.
Maybe.
Log up some Joy Division and
just let it all out.
Yeah.
Did you ever hear about like primal therapy?
Like primal scream therapy?
Is that the primal scream therapy? I mean, but so like apparently people went pretty hardcore into it, where they'd have like padded rooms like in their house.
And like a panic room, or like
so it's like the theory was essentially that you were supposed to like unleash, the most violent, like emotional outbursty stuff, and that was like cathartic and natural, right?
Yeah, sounds like primal scream therapy, or just like randomly screaming.
Yeah,
I guess that's what it is. I don't know what that actually is, but
I think in this one you're allowed to like hit stuff and just kind of throw a tantrum. Yeah. I don't know if I could even get myself there
to like throw a random tantrum. And
like I feel like I'm just like so like the hall monitor in my brain like wouldn't
it's like
let
no
that
tantrums allowed, right?
Yeah,
you just like hang up a sign or something.
Like I might get like one like good swing in at something, but then it's like, okay, settle down, right?
What if there's like a piñata in there that you had to like?
What's a piñata? Piñata.
Okay. Piñata.
Yeah.
They would always. That's like, I feel like when I was growing up, people would just call it a piñata. Like they wouldn't include the N.
Is that what the squiggly over the N is?
I guess it's like a rolled N, right? I forget what the mark is called. Okay. But people just called it a piñata. like a.
It sounds like a car.
Yeah,
name.
well, yeah, like a Miata, right?
Right.
Like
Okay.
a car,
That's what I'm getting. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, so I didn't really get that it was like piñata until later, or piñata. I thought it was just like piata or something. Yeah, and it was like weird regional, variants of pronunciation, I guess.
Yeah.
Where some things are just like weirdly mispronounced or left out. Yeah.
Yeah, I always knew it as a piñata, I guess.
Well, that's what it kind of is.
We didn't have like any sort of Hispanic presence up in Canada, really.
Correct it,
yeah, so maybe that was it, right?
Or like calling a creek a crick or something.
That's strictly like Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it sounds like a New Jersey,
yeah.
PA thing, I would say.
New Jersey as well? Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. Seem to remember it somewhere down that way. Yeah.
Trying to think, yeah, like have you heard like the Toronto dialect at all?
Probably not. Yeah.
It's
just in passing, maybe. Yeah.
It's like influenced by like patois, Jamaican patois or something, but it's like
Jamaican patois.
I think so.
In
I
Toronto?
know, man. It's like I don't even want.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at impressions. Period, and I don't want to try it out.
You don't risk it. Yeah.
No.
But there's like some words that are pronounced like differently than standard.
Well, it's like I know. Yeah, it's like instead of like the classic Canadian like a boot or whatever, like kind of like hick accent, I guess, like hick, I guess, kind of. Yeah,
it sounds like Minnesota to me or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So I got that vibe. We were hanging out with Chris last weekend.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah. Canadian,
and but like so yeah, like I really heard the Canadian accent in him, but it almost seemed kind of conscious on his end, right?
Okay,
did you feel like he was playing into it at all?
I really couldn't tell.
Oh.
I didn't get any. Yeah, I didn't get that sense at all. But I guess I'm just not that attuned to Canadian accents, so wasn't really striking me as more or less strong, I guess.
Like I've had, I meet people, and once they figure out I'm from Canada, they like some will claim that I have a Canadian accent, which I like just don't like think at all, right? Like if anything, it's Russian. If anything, it's monotone, right?
Okay, yeah.
Like I don't know about Canadian accent at all. Maybe in some words though.
You thought that his accent was quite strong though?
Yeah, but I felt like he was like putting it on, right?
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, he really had that like did you watch Fargo, the movie?
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I felt it was like a Minnesota kind of accent,
right?
Almost. Yeah.
Yeah, but like it
is kind of up there. I mean, it's pretty much.
Yeah, but like Minnesota isn't like adjacent to Canada or anything. Like it's kind of like, I guess, like what is it, like
longitudinal?
That's longitudinal. Yeah, like longitudinally, it's like kind of the same. It's
probably
weird how,
latitude, right? It would be the
latitude.
other way.
I don't know, whichever.
Yeah,
it's west of like Toronto, but like way west, I guess. I don't know, but like not connected. Yeah, I know. Like I felt that the sort of Michigan culture was quite similar to Canadian culture overall. Like the kind of like Upper Peninsula type area. Do you know that area at all? Not really.
Like around the Great Lakes?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of just funny, I guess, like because regionally and kind of culturally, geographically, like we're all centered around the Great Lakes. But
it's probably pretty similar culture, right? I mean, doesn't seem too different.
Yeah, but it's pretty like cottage kind of
cottagecore.
Yeah,
it's cottagecore.
Is cottage? I don't know. Cottagecore is a whole thing on its own, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah,
cottagecore seems like some Marie Antoinette like fake kind of.
But so what is it? It's like people like idealizing like kind of simple cottage lifestyle or something.
Yeah, I don't have a clear idea of what it is supposed to be, but that's sort of what it seems, is like it's like some fake rustic kind of, wicker furniture and like, I don't know.
Then just like
big knitted blankets and kind of stuff like that.
But like you're living in the middle of a heavily
like Brooklyn
area
or something.
Yeah,
you're like in some loft in Brooklyn with like
wicker furniture
and huge like pleated quilts or something. Or I guess I think that's what it is. I could be totally blanking on what it actually is supposed to be, but certainly not a aesthetic I was interested in learning about. I guess.
Well, what's the other one? There's Goblin Core or something.
Core. Yeah, I don't even know what that's supposed to. I guess it's just like wrapping up at home and getting out your old
like dark greens,
getting out your old sweater and kind of just staying home during COVID.
I think you need to have like a kind of skull of a goat or something on your desk as a desk piece or something. I don't know.
I think the whole Goblin thing was just like a COVID thing because people were like staying home and zooming in their sweatpants or whatever. And, I don't know, eating some cookies or something, or just like not really getting ready to go out. I think that's like all it was, I guess. I don't know if there was much to it beyond that.
Goblin, yeah, I guess goblins kind of stay in their cave or something.
Stay in their little lair or cave, yeah. Goblin mode or whatever.
Yeah, that's something else though, right? That's like hedonistic.
Is it? Is that what it is?
Or something?
Okay. I
think it's like unapologetic, like
just being a douche or something.
Something like that. I don't know.
It's Goblin mode. I thought it was the same as Goblin.
I think it's like kind of like tapping into like your just base primal desire or instinct or something in kind of a grotesque and socially inappropriate
way. Yeah. Goblining out.
Yeah. Kind of primal therapy territory, I suppose, right?
I feel like I've sort of lost base with a lot of these things. Like it feels like there's a lot more new terminology recently though. I feel like sort of before COVID, there wasn't as much. Like maybe, I want to say like 2015 to 2019.
Well, I think it's like TikTok, basically, right?
Could be, yeah. Could just be TikTok.
Like it's funny to reflect back on like, just how memes have changed.
Yeah.
Like, cause I feel like, 2010, there'd be like like 3 new memes a year or something, right? Yeah. But now it's like every like day there's like a new viral video that like everyone has seen, basically, right?
Yeah, it's like definitely speeding the pace. There's always like weird terminology coming from like, I want to say like, I'm sure it must be TikTok too, but like Reddit, like looks maxing and stuff. Like,
I mean, that's like incel.
It's like, well, yeah, right? It's like an incel word or something.
Yeah.
It's just funny that like that's sort of becoming kind of mainstream.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm seeing that like all over the place, like just in random.
They're not like secretly incel. Well, people frequenting incel forums or something.
It seems like pretty mainstream.
Normal, like appending maxing to something, right?
Yeah, it just seems like pretty normal social media without like hunting down some obscure forum or something, or like going into some detailed rabbit hole.
I'm trying to get into life maxing. Yeah, just maximum vitality and life enjoyment. That's the goal.
Need to get the blood program,
the blood boy
immortality program with the Brian Johnson or whatever.
Yeah, I need to clone myself.
Clone yourself and drain blood from a clone. Then
do you think that's like karmically bad?
Clone a clone for the clone to drain blood from, so he doesn't run out either. He's got his own clone
and that's in that way it's karmically sound.
Yeah.
Just keep the chain going.
Keep the chain of maximum clonage. We were talking about Spider-Man. That was a Spider-Man comic during that speculator boom. There was actually a series called Maximum Clonage, where they like clone. This was like this whole thing in the 90s where they cloned Spider-Man. And I think there was some blood draining and other weird stuff going on. Yeah.
From the spider?
Yeah,
From
or
the Spider-Man.
Yeah, some clones of Spider-Man that were replacing him. Yeah. Yeah, karmically, I mean, I think he is like draining blood from his son or something. Which,
well, there's like a guy doing that now, right?
Well, that's why. What's the Brian Johnson or whatever?
Is that him?
Yeah. Well, I think he's getting some plasma or something from his son. I probably wouldn't donate blood to my parents if they asked for it.
Well, they didn't indoctrinate you to that idea.
Yeah.
Right?
I'd be like, nah, I'm not gonna. Come on.
Do you think the son will get his son to donate plasma? Do you think it's just like an intergenerational Ponzi scheme?
Yeah, Ponzi scheme of blood donating. Although it remains to be seen if that dude's even gonna live longer than average. I think the worst thing is if he just dies at like 70 or something, because
then completely like, or even like a bit early.
Well, no,
like, it actually like killed him faster.
No, but that would be. I think that's the trap. Is like if he lives to like 120, then it's like, okay, yeah, I kind of did it. But if he dies at like 50, then it would just be like, okay, well then he was obviously doing something that actually wasn't healthy for him. But if he just dies at like 70, it's like, did it make any difference at all, right? Like, did any of that make any difference actually? Or was he just going to die at 70 no matter what?
Right.
Like, he might have spent like the previous like 30 years rigorously like doing stuff,
draining his son,
and it might have made he could have just been smoking and eating cheeseburger, like, he still would have just died at 70 no matter what.
Yeah, man.
Like, if there's no discernible way to tell if his lifespan was greater or lesser, sort of average.
So it's a funny thing, like just kind of drawing a connection here, like, you know, the motorcycle, my motorcycle is like just under a year old basically, and you know, you get it and it's new and it's shiny, and like every little scratch, like you mess up and you chip the paint a little bit, and like, oh damn it, like it's not new anymore.
It's not new. Yeah.
And then you crash it. It's like, okay, well, you know,
at least it's
all the concern I previously had is instantly like void, right? And it's just, okay, well, in a way you can actually like enjoy it then, right? Because it's like you realize sort of the finitude of it all, right? Like it's,
if you're trying to like keep it pristine,
it's kind of a trap, right?
Like, what's the point of having it? Yeah.
But I mean, does the same extend to our bodies, right? Like, should you be smoking while you can because you can, right? Or,
well, I think it's good to smoke maybe a little bit, but it most
as a treat.
Yeah, or like the comics too. I mean, that's the speculator thing with the comics is people wouldn't even read them because they didn't want to like mess up the mint grading. They want to have everything mint condition.
S-class.
Yeah. So they started doing this thing called slabbing, where they would like vacuum seal the comics into like a slab board and then like laminate it in plastic almost. So like you couldn't open it, right? So like so what you do is like once you slab it, you send it off to this like authority to grade. This is a real thing. People are literally doing this and like filling warehouses full of these things, right? So you send it off and they're like, okay, like 9.7 or something, right? So they give it some grade, and it's supposed to be as close to like 10, you know, but like I guess realistically it never gets above like 9.8 or something, or 9.9. But because if you're gonna buy it, it has to presumably is close to mint, right? Like you don't just want it, you know, like I gave you like in some paperback or something. Like serious collectors, oh my god, like you have comics from 2005 and just like in a you know, open bag or something. It's not even sealed in plastic. It's not even in a slip case or something. Right. So there's people that are doing that and they're like buying, you know, like they probably buy like 100 comics a month, and like 50 of them they just immediately slab just to like put in the vault or whatever, because they think it's gonna like be worth on the off chance that it's
so
like
it's just pure capitalism,
it's pure speculation. Yeah, it's just like pure. You know, it's like, oh, maybe some character that appears like in 15 years is going to be in a movie, and then this issue will like go up to like, you know, speculator prices. You know?
Yeah, I mean, if you're doing it for the money, that's one thing. But like, no, it's I actively try, and I'm so conscious of this part of my brain, which is trying to keep everything pristine, and it doesn't help me with anything, honestly.
I think there's that element, like I think it's like that OCD element too, where it's like it's that like collector element. I mean, there's like so many comics where like there's things I had when I was a kid where it's like, I don't know, the first appearance of like Deadpool or something, and it's like, okay, like if I time traveled back to myself as a kid and been like, yo, just like put this in like like, you know, like don't even read this, like just put it in a plastic bag, or, you know, get your parents to like laminate it, because like, you know, 30 years from now there's gonna be a movie and the character is gonna be big. And, like, I feel like my child self would just been like, wow, this is whack or something. I don't think I would have even believed my future self. I would have just been like, wow, that's kind of lame.
Right.
Really? Yeah. Like Deadpool is popular when you're an adult.
Right.
I would have been like, what?
What?
Like this Deadpool?
Right.
Like the Rob Liefeld character who like is in a backup issue of X-Force. There's gonna be a movie about this in the future.
It's going to be like a cultural icon or something, representing I don't know.
Probably would have been, I think my childhood self even would have been kind of horrified, because he'd be like, wait, he would have been like, people are reading Deadpool comics in like utopia future. Like, isn't that like space future with like actual, like, aren't people like, you know, I don't know, watching holographic operas about, you know, philosophy or I think that's what my childhood. I think if I had, like, if a time traveler, if my current self had have time traveled and started talking about Deadpool, like, I think you probably would have been like, wow, this is whack or something. Like, this is a thing in like 2024. Like, people care about Deadpool in this like shitty X-Force sideline comic or something. Yeah. But yeah, that's how speculators think. They're like, on the off chance that something like that happens, then we have to slap everything and polybag it to make sure it's
going to be so funny in the apocalypse when people are like scavenging for food.
Yeah, and they like find some vault full of you know, Wolverine comics or something. It's like,
just, okay, great. Found some toilet paper. It's a shame. It's kind of annoying. I have to take all this plastic off.
Yeah, you probably, like, unless you got like a high grade knife, like you probably can't even open those damn slabs or whatever. You gotta like knife them open, or
they should like seal them in resin to like really make sure they're pristine. Or,
I mean, so you got some difficult to access, you know, scrap, you know, wood fire paper and toilet paper or something you gotta like knife out to access.
Do you think like, like what were like cavemen like using this impulse on, right?
Cavemen, they made little fetishes and figures, and they made little carvings, and, you know, they're like collecting. I'm sure they were collecting.
Did they slab them though? Did they
probably put them in the back of the cave and hoarded them away? Some
hoarding instinct. Yeah.
What is, like, I mean, what do you think the Pharaoh's tomb is? Just a bunch of shit that he thought he was going to need when he's dead. That's what they thought he was going to need it in that.
Well, what they leave with him. So they took out the brain and they left the heart, right? I know that one. Then there'd be like urns with like,
but you know, like there's like random there's like couches and furniture. Like there's other things that they thought he was going to need in his.
You don't think that was just like what if that was like the hangout spot for teens? You know, like how they like drag a couch under overpass
in the Pharaoh's tomb,
right?
You think? I think it's probably pretty hard to break into the Pharaoh's tomb.
Yeah. I mean, wait a few generations.
Yeah,
and
a few generations.
Cares, right?
Just like go and hang out in the tomb.
Did you hear about this defacing of like the what is it, like emperor's grave or something here in Tokyo?
No.
No?
What?
It was probably like a month ago or something, but
someone defaced the emperor's grave.
they like left some graffiti, and like recently they like I think they like caught the guy or figured out who it was or something. It's like some student or something.
I'm sure they wouldn't take it lightly. Yeah.
Guess not. Yeah, I mean, but
wow.
Yeah, vandalism. It's pastime, as ancient pastime. I think
ancient
right?
pastime. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's what like half the stuff they have from Pompeii is just like random graffiti about like dicks and stuff. You know, like kind of pretty like vulgar kind of
timeless
kind of stuff. Yeah,
it's real. Yeah, I mean, so whatever happened to toilet stall graffiti?
So you're not seeing it, or?
I mean, I don't frequent toilet stalls. I don't know about you, but
I think I still
I've
see
seen
a fair amount like in station bathrooms and stuff. There's
yeah,
still
in the stalls specifically, or what?
Yeah, sometimes. I mean, I haven't seen a huge amount.
What's the word on the street? What are
just
people
phone
putting
numbers?
out?
It's just
phone
like
numbers?
It's random phone numbers.
You don't think it's like a gay hookup calling
card
or something?
I think it probably is. Yeah, I think there's that element of it.
Yeah, it's probably
But I think the golden age of graffiti might be over. But
yeah, I mean that was kind of also a '90s thing, right?
Yeah.
It's funny. There's a tunnel nearby here that like it's I've been here for a few years and it's just a constant battle of like someone will put up a big graffiti piece and then like a month later it's like scrubbed down and then there's some like laminated sign saying like graffiti is a crime punishable by statute 4F of section whatever like
right
and then they never like take it off like it's spray paint. They never like fully get rid of it. You can always see the kind of
the outline in the background.
Not the outline but like the kind of smear of it, right. Then it's just back again like a month later and the cycle repeats itself. So kind of nice, I guess, that they're just providing like a clean slate for him to work on each time, right? Refine the craft. It
seems like there's a lively kind of scene. I mean, like even east side where I live, like there's a few spots that usually have like a bunch of tags, and kind of a few pieces coming out sometimes. Yeah. So I think they're definitely active, but
like it. Man, there's so many like ugly buildings here and stuff. Like it kind of, I don't know, like it's one of those things where it like should be kind of welcomed into the culture or something. Like it has a place, I think, in the urban environment, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think
like don't build big ugly walls if you don't want people to draw on them,
drawing on them or putting some stuff up. Yeah.
Like make it like it's kind of an invitation to do
like
better,
fix it,
right?
Or like add something. Yeah. Especially if things are like in that like brutalist style where everything's just like flat walls and like kind of like looks like it's like an empty slate, empty canvas.
Yeah, I mean brutalist, like lazy. I'd know.
Yeah.
Don't give it a nice name. Like yeah. Yeah, graffiti would have been a fun thing to get into. I have a friend who kind of has a tag that it's funny. Like I'll be visiting, like kind of the area I grew up in, and I'll see his tag.
Okay, yeah.
Just like,
is he still active or?
I don't know if he's putting up new stuff, but like honestly, it's very it's not. He's not like a spray paint artist, right? It's specifically just the kind of tag, right?
Just that, right?
Little insignia.
Yeah.
But it's a fun little. It adds a dimension to life for sure. Yeah.
I used to, like my friends in Perth and Australia were quite active in that, and they would always be tagging and like drawing little pictures everywhere and kind of trying to put things up.
When this reminds me when I was living in Vancouver for 4 months, Had some friends there, and we were doing urban exploration type stuff, mostly like rooftops and stuff. But like one time it was kind of bizarre. Like I guess it was like an overpass, but so it was like a bridge, right? And then like at the base of the bridge, right before it goes over the water or whatever it was going over, there was, like there's that concrete base, but like it's like hollowed out, right? So like there was a door, and the lock was already dismantled.
Yeah.
And we open the door, and there's like a cavern inside, but it's basically just like an empty concrete, like I guess you'd call it a room, like filled with gravel, basically.
It was like a storage area?
No, not even storage, right? It was just the inside of this base of the bridge, right?
Oh, wow.
And yeah, I mean, really dusty and unpleasant environment. Like but yeah, I mean, it was, I guess it was like a graffiti spot.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, so it was like inside, like, you'd never go there basically unless you're, I don't know, looking for it, I guess, right? Just kind of almost like an art gallery of tags or whatever, but no amazing artwork, unfortunately. Just kind of, I wonder if it was almost like practice, like chill kind of canvas territory.
Okay, yeah.
Or like no one
just
would
like
bother
try
you.
things out or test stuff, yeah.
Just haven't thought about that in a while.
Sounds like a cool place to like do some magic rituals or something. It's like kind of out of the way, and
it wasn't ventilated enough. It was really like dusty and kind of
too hot to like kind of just comfortably hang out.
Really,
down by the river, right?
Yeah, Vancouver's kind of interesting place.
I always wanted to go there. I mean, there's a big like Japanese scene there too. It's it seems like one of the main destination points, I guess. Like,
kind of wonder how that came up. Yeah, like I guess kind of geographically, it's kind
pretty
of
straight across from the Pacific, I guess.
Yeah.
I wonder if you can go that way. I mean, I guess there's like flights straight across the Pacific like that.
Yeah. There's definitely Japan to Vancouver, but I don't. Do they go straight across the Pacific, or do they still go over the Arctic?
Seems like it'd be faster just go straight across the Pacific.
It's the weird thing though. Like I think it could be deceptively like
far,
because we're so used to seeing the map.
So the map might actually be.
But like it might actually make more sense to go over the Arctic, right?
Ooh, okay, yeah. So you just still have to slice over the Atlantic, kind of,
Atlantic, I don't know. I can't. I can't imagine at this point.
Visualizing it?
I can't visualize it. Yeah.
Well, the Pacific Ocean is kind of scary big, actually, right? I mean, like if you get. There's like some island out there that's like the furthest point out from
just like the most remote area.
Yeah, it's like right out in the middle of, like it's equidistant from like California and like I don't know, the Philippines or something. It's just like right in the middle of fucking nowhere. It's just like a landable island or habitable island or islands, I think. I mean, it'd just be wild, like being there. Like it just I feel like it just feels scary, like even being there.
It feel like a dream or something.
Yeah, I feel like a dream or something. It's like, how could you
just like nothing in all directions?
Yeah, it's just
forever,
nothing.
Right?
Like feel like almost like you couldn't. Even if you had a ship, like it would probably take you like months or something to, or at least a long time to. Even like a modern ship, but if you're like stuck with some like 1800 ship or something, like how long would it even take you to like get to?
Yeah, I wonder how those like Polynesians. Careful with the mic there.
Yeah.
The Polynesians got around by boat pretty far, right?
I guess, man. Yeah, I mean that's a different mindset. I mean.
just rowboats.
Like it would feel like
hauling.
you're just signing yourself off to oblivion or something. Like, did they know there was gonna be stuff out there?
Well, they must have. Otherwise, they wouldn't have gone, right?
I guess, yeah. But
I mean, I guess you can hop one island that you can see, and then you're kind of. But like, how would you even like stay oriented, right? Like, how would you?
They had pretty sophisticated awareness of like tides and stars and stuff. So I think they were like pretty. I think they did have some.
Don't you need like a sextant and stuff for that to work though? Can you just eyeball it?
I'm not really sure. I definitely don't think they made it to this furthest out island. I mean, I think that is like a modern discovery. Like, I don't think any humans would have been able to make it that far because it's just like there's just nothing there. I mean, it's like literally furthest, just like bum middle of the Pacific. It's like, you know, equidistant basically from, you know, Australia, the Philippines, Antarctica. It's just like nowheresville island. So I don't think there was ever any like actual human landings before. Maybe like fairly recently or something. But
was there any? Do you know if there was like any animals on there or anything?
I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to look it up.
Presumably something.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it. There's that other one, Tristan da Cunha or whatever, where it's like in the Atlantic.
It's the name of the island, or that's
it's the name of the island, which I think is probably just the name of the guy that found it.
Yeah, it's
like
cool
some Portuguese explorer or something.
Name stuff.
It's Ego Island.
This thing is me.
Ego Island, right? Yeah.
Right.
But there's people living there. And they have their own community. But I think that's the furthest out one in the Atlantic, if I'm right. Although I could be remembering this wrong, but that's definitely one where it's very hard to get to without, you know, planes or something. Like, so, but yeah, there's people living there. You know, there's a community there. They have the internet. I guess kind of weird. Yeah,
satellite internet, right? Like,
yeah.
Unless they have a wire dragged under the ocean.
Yeah. Kind of wild though. I mean, you'd like know everyone there. Like you wouldn't be able to like hide anything really.
Yeah,
like you'd kind of have to be chill with everyone. 'Cause, like.
Yeah. Too small of a place to have any enemies, right?
Yeah.
Well, on the subject of enemies, I hope you friends enjoyed this podcast as well. It's 1 a.m. here, so I think I'm gonna have to just about tapped out.
Yeah. Tap out.
But thanks for joining us. I'm not sure if this is the Patreon. This might be the first episode. Who knows?
This might be the one. Yeah.
If it's not the Patreon, please join us on the Patreon for more content, and hope you enjoyed it.
All right. Peace out. Yeah.
Have a good week. Peace.